Today I want to go over the Wiser Me worksheet that you did last week, division steps. You should have watched this video, which will help you with the compare, multiply, subtract, bring down steps. And then you were to go down and answer these questions. Number one, the first thing you will do with a division problem is compare. What two numbers will you compare in this problem? Well, this 6 is smaller than this 15. So without using the zero step, the first two numbers you would compare is the 67 and the 15. All right. So again, because this is smaller, you're going to compare the 15 and the 67. Now, if you're using the zero step, I don't even give you that option. So that can't be the answer. I mean, some of you are saying, well, I compare the 15 to the 6. Well, I don't give you that option. So obviously I'm not using the zero method, so I'm comparing the 15 to the 67. Number two, what is the next step you should do in the problem below? Well, we compare what number times 12 gets me closest to 33. Would be 2, because 2 times 12 is 24. And then you subtract. The next step would be to bring down this 0. Bring down. What is the next step you should do in the problem below? Well, it looks like we compared the 19 and the 11. And we said, well, 1 times 11 will get me closest to 19 without going over. Now we got to multiply it. Because we compared, now we need to multiply it. Put an 11 right here. Number 4, the next step in the problem below, looks like we need to, we compared 11 to the 91. We said 8 times 11 will get me closest to 91 without going over. We subtracted and we brought down. Now we got to compare now. Compare the 32 and the 11. Compare. First thing you do in a division problem is compare. What two numbers will you compare in this problem? Well, it's kind of like this question here. I just worded it different. You're going to compare the 10 now to the 8. You brought down the 8, so now you're going to compare the 10 and the 88. The 10 and the 88. You can't compare the 13 to the 1 because the 1 is too small. You can't compare the 13 to the 12 because the 12 is too small. Therefore, what two numbers should you compare? Well, I'm going to compare the 13 to the 121. Mrs. Crumley says the answer to this division problem is 17 and 5/13. What step did she forget to do? She forgot to bring down this 8. See, there's a spot above this 8 that she left blank. You know, this 5/13 should be out in here. She left a blank spot here, so she forgot to bring down the 8. Mrs. D did the same problem as Mrs. Crumley. Although her answer is correct, what did she do wrong? Again, you'll really understand why this is wrong when we divide decimals. Again, this is the right answer, but all these numbers should be shifted over to the right. The 1 should be here, the 7 should be here, and the 4 should be here. So what did she do? The numbers in her answer are not above the correct numbers. What are the next two steps that you'll need to do in the division problem below? Subtract and bring down. Subtract these two numbers, and then bring down. Subtract and bring down. The problem below is a common mistake made by 5th graders. You should not put the 13 up there. What mistake did the person make? Anytime you're putting a number up here, you're only putting one number, one single digit number. You're going to put a 0 or a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or a 7 or 8 or a 9, but not a 10 or higher. So what did they do? Let me see. Well,